But tonight is a particularly special event because it gives us the opportunity to introduce one of our project residents, and that is Oliver Godow here this evening, so I'm delighted about that. And tonight he'll be in conversation with Daniel Herrmann.
T55, I said in the beginning, it doesn't mean anything to anyone really, unless you open up with a certain sense of curiosity to find out more about it.
In a way, the book is a record of a mapping of a cultural space.
Yeah.
At least that's what I see in it, and I find it's interesting. If you open it, the first thing you see is actually a map, an indication, a record of a space that's not yet located per se. It's the incision of dots, the marking of a territory with numbers, but it's not fixed to an actual topographical space yet. Yeah. Some of the things that I would like to ask you about tonight are things that have to do with the narrative that you construct in your work, your use of color, which I find very interesting. I would like to know more about, and also certain aspects of composition. And I think composition often has to do with surface in your work, of course, in photography as a medium in general. And perhaps that's something that we can start with in the first question, in the first image. Here we have the map of Munich again, and the first image that I'd like to show from the book is titled Barer-Straße, Schellingstraße. Again, a name that indicates the topography, but is not shown by a vista, but in a different way. I think it's interesting that from the photographic point of view, we have a detailed close-up of a fabric, which in itself is a surface, but is represented in its curvature. And of course, now again, I'm missing the English word Faltenwurf of Deutsch. The way that a drapery falls in folds, which in art history is one of the prime signifiers of space, which is one of the prime signifiers of represented space in sculpture, in painting. The way of representing space through drapery is a mode of artistic representation that goes back forever. But of course, as a photographer, you also add the effect of light, the casting of the shadow to it.
Yeah.
Is that conscious?
I guess consciously unconscious. And I guess it's about reversing the theme of the folding into the unfolding of the whole kind of narrative.
Yeah.
In a very indirect approach, I suppose. I mean, I never arrange anything for the purpose of my work, so it's all found. You can go there and check it out. It's true. So it won't be closed now, but anyhow. But it's all found. Either I have to come back, I have to wait, in your case, I mean, you know the story, or I'm lucky and can do it instantly, which is the best way. But it's all about, the decisive moment within the walking.
The image is obviously very heavily cropped. We don't get this wide angle. It's focusing on the very object in the center, and then kind of arches out into the imaginary. How do you crop your works?
Almost nothing.
So you go with what the camera offers.
Yeah. That one's done by Machina Blaubel 6.7, so it's you can see everything what's there and what you want, and so it's quite focused. I guess the awareness for light is really crucial. Number 2, I guess, is the element of stillness. Just kind of, my work is always about the moment before or the moment afterwards. There's always kind of notion of the aftermath in my work, kind of noticeable, and it's about the trace of human being either having gone or just waiting to enter the space.
And here we have a space that is made for viewing, or that is within a building that was made for viewing. And again, we have this notion of circumscribing that place by not showing somebody looking at an artwork, but actually showing at the seats and the empty tables for people who are coming or who are it's not about a person looking, but it's about the after or the before,
Yeah,
as you mentioned.
And also, I guess, as it's number 2 in the book, it's about a certain sense of expectation. What's this about? I mean, and I guess this kind of self-reflectiveness again going on in this work.